talked to several artists and musicians and producers in this podcast, and we've all kind of came to the consensus that, yeah, even though perhaps getting a degree in audio engineering may have been kind of the foot in the door back in the day, you kind of just hit the ground running, right? You did your basic research, you got some basic equipment, and you just started. From there, as an audio engineer, now you're shifted more towards creating your brand as a producer. Talk to me a little bit about how that transition has come to be, and are you still doing the audio engineering on the side, or is this kind of your full time as far as, music production goes?
Yeah, so that's actually interesting because when I was recording bands, I always would make beats, and that's something that I really want to say real quick is that I've always made beats. That has been something that was engraved in me from that young age that my brother introduced me to music and how to make beats, right? Like that was engraved in me. I fell in love. The love that I grew for it was like no other. Like nothing would stand before me when it came down to making beats. But I just knew that I was probably not going to make it, like just making beats and making a living off of it at that time. So I went into recording bands. But even though I was recording bands, and those bands that I was recording had nothing to do with beats and boom bap style, like I was always making beats in the side. So that was always right next to me, right? So I no longer record bands right now. I don't, I have no gear to record bands, and I don't want to go back to that at all. I kind of fell out of love from recording. And I think that's actually a pretty important topic too, because I was so deep into recording these bands, and it was not music that I enjoyed. And I started mixing my, I don't know how they say, like, don't mix your pleasures with business, right? But I started just saying yes to all these bands that it was not my style of music, but it was paying me. And I noticed that I started kind of making some money, right? And I was like, yeah, let's go. And I started piling up a few bands. And before I knew it, I burnt out. And the reason why I burnt out is because it was bands and music that once you record, you have to mix, run their voice through auto-tune, and you're spending hours after hours just, all right, let's go to the next song. Now we're going to the next song. And I burnt out because it was stuff that I didn't like, but I was accepting it for the money. And that was a lesson that I learned in that time, that, hey, you do not mix if you don't like something, and if it is not something you're looking forward and you're excited to work on, don't say yes. Like, it's okay to say no. And when I was young, like, I would not say no to anybody. So that burned me out. I just kind of grew out of love. I hated it. And I started just like, man, I can't believe I'm going to spend the next few weeks mixing this. And it was just really bad. I just kind of decided I don't want to do this no more. I hate it. I'm going to put it to the side. And I just kind of walked away from it. I sold all my microphones, and I just kind of like just got out of the whole recording and mixing. But when it came down to beats, that always stood next to me. That always stood next to me. I had no interest in becoming any type of audio engineer anymore, but I knew I always had my MPC, and that was my way of just kind of finding my escape. I always made music, and till this day, well, obviously I still do. But when I walked away from audio engineering, I went into film, and I went into video. I went into filming video for my local church. And then after my local church, it happened the same way with my recording bands. Word of mouth, somebody liked my video, and then a small business around the town liked the video. And I started kind of getting my name out there with my video company.
Now, the full episode, which is linked in the description below, is brought to you by DistroKid. DistroKid being the place to distribute your music if you're a musicpreneur. Not only do they have amazing features to allow you to promote your music and yourself on social media, really wherever you can post digital content, but they've recently launched a new feature called Mixia. Now, if you don't have the years of experience that Malo Beats has, maybe you're still struggling with getting your mix and master just right, you can use Mixia to get your sound to sound pristine, professional, and ready to be distributed. With a Mixia membership, you can upload and mix as many times as you want to ensure that anytime that you distribute, your mix is ready to go. So be sure to check out Mixia on distrokid.com, and be sure to also check out DistroKid. If you're not already a DistroKid member, you're missing out. Check out my VIP link for 7% off, distrokid.com/VIP/Nico Santana.
And that helped me a lot because I started learning a lot in video, and I started getting very good in video. But again, I was doing video for businesses, for local churches, and that was helping me get better at visuals. once I went into video, I kind of, since I was already good at video and I had some basic understanding on how to film, how to light up with cameras and all that, that's kind of where I start shifting back into audio, into beat making. And that kind of has a different shift when I come back right now. And this is where we're at now, that I have my YouTube channel. Because when I came back into video, I knew where I fell off when I went out of love. And I said, hey, if I'm going to come back and I guess reopen my studio, but it's just like me making beats, I told myself I'm going to do a promise to myself that I'm going to just have fun. I'm not going to get too technical. I'm not going to get too complicated. I just want to have fun. I want to be a kid. I want to be unprofessional, I guess, because when I try to be all professional with it, I start getting technical and I start, bringing out all these mixing plugins and all that. Like, no, I just want to have fun, have a good time. I'm not trying to make this to sound the best sounding mix in the world. Like, I just want to have a good time. And I'm going to promise myself that it's going to stay like that. And that's when I started opening up my YouTube channel and started making videos. And until this day, I've still, I've kept it fun and I've kept it very simple workflows and I'm still having fun. It's been almost, I'm already going to hit almost 2 years doing my YouTube, but it's been fun because I told myself not to overcomplicate things. So that's been very helpful for me.
If you enjoyed this clip, watch the full episode, link in the description below. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and share it with a friend. Much love.